Alright, here we go.
I feel like
I have. Wait a second.
Is that better?
No, that's better. Sorry. It's that type of bloody piece. Yeah, this is a spoken word poem. This is called The Third Sock. See that? I did that with a lot of intensity. It was a drama. It was a love story about a man in his pair of socks, the only footwear he ever wore. The story began like fingers clawing through a sewer grate. This man in his pair of socks had a tragedy. His pair of socks developed holes. Muddy shadows stretched across the bedroom of his mind. He was a lonesome cowboy with holes in his toes. He'd never ridden a horse, of course. Then it happened. A silhouette of a sock appeared in his sock drawer. It was a sock. It was the third sock. It looked just like his pair of socks. The moral dilemma he faced, the third sock just looked like the pair, without the holes, of course. P.S. No Francis in this rumination. The shame, the self-loathing. He put on the third sock with one of the socks from the pair, the sock with the least holes. He sacrificed one sock for better footwear. He suffered. Oh, how he suffered. Blisters on his toes, a blister on his heel, an inverse of a moon crater, the guilt that filled his boots. And yes, he did wear boots over his socks. The story would never have reached this stage if he hadn't. He cried to his feet at the steps that had brought him to that moment. He cried, "Third sock! You are not one of a pair! Begone from my drawer!" Thus he removed the manhole cover from his eyes. He cast that third sock out the door. Of course. Gets worse, don't worry. He began a decade-long journey in search of, beam me up, Spock, a reference some will never get. I do. That's all that matters. He went looking for a solution to the holes in his pair. Year after year after year, the third sock dogged his every footstep. It appeared in his drawers, behind his pillow, next to his bed, in the hallway, out the back of the shed, on the TV set. Every time he turned around, there was the third sock, just in the distance, or on the horizon. And all this while, he was searching for a means to repair his pair of socks. Eventually, he found the granny working in a cafe. Cafe Berlin Wall. The granny was a darner of socks, of course. The granny repaired the socks, and true love slipped onto his feet. The third sock was suddenly nowhere to be seen. People claimed they saw the third sock working at McDonald's in New Orleans, stuffed inside a cuckoo clock, on a chair, on the Melbourne Wheel. The Melbourne Wheel is the largest living statue in the Southern Hemisphere. I do tell. The third sock was supposedly observed working as a checkout chick in a quickie mart in Kalgoorlie. But these were all just rumours. Of course. The man, he was reunited with his pair of socks, feeling safe and comfortable at last, wearing his Australian-made pair of woolen socks on a Ferris wheel, listening to Orson Welles' diatribes. Of course. It's bad, I know. It's grand bad. Oh, God. I spent hours on that one.